Hello, all greetings. This is Gilles Mansillon. I am called to come back and say hello, wish you a good day. I'm going to speak about spiritual ideas, to share some spiritual ideas, just my ideas. Do not adopt any ideas. If they do not resonate with you, you have to see how you feel. For life changes every moment. We have changed, we are transformed. And also to speak about some more down to us about relative to love and romance, and also to the climate change, for that is a big subject right now. You're just expressing some sorts and ideas, and after that everybody will determine themselves, will fulfill their own vision in a sense. I'm going to pull a few cards of the Angel's Tarot. It is not about predicting the future, of course. It is like for everybody is determining his own future, and don't let anybody tell you what your future. Let yourself determine what your future, what your choices are. For the past is luck, the present is judgment, and the future is choice. We have to make new choice. We're going to be able to make all the choices. If we don't make the choice will be made for us. So let us make the choice. Choose again. Make choices. You define what your life, create your life. What we're working on right now is accomplishment. And the future will be revelation. There's going to be a great deal of revelation that will be coming. There is, for those who are following the news, there is some dominoes that are falling. Maybe the Epstein story will be the domino that's going to make the other domino fall until the full revelation of all the darkness will be expurged from the matrix, and the truth will be revealed. It will take a couple of years, but things are really moving forward. For in essence, there are great femme galactic for those who can accept the fact that as humans we are not the only only civilization in existence. The life is everywhere in the universe, and in this great Milky Way galaxy there are hundreds of thousands of civilizations, millions of civilizations, but there are a few thousands of them that are working specifically with the Earth, and some have already interacted in the past, such as the Egyptian gods that came from Lyra essentially, but they were like galactic. They came from all over the place, and the Cassiopeian, the Greek gods, and many others, and they all came to advance they left mythologies behind, but they came to advance the consciousness of humanity. And now, at some point, this planet, at the end of the galactic war, this planet became quarantined. It becomes a prison planet. It was part of the dark forces were given certain areas where they could still retreat. But the Earth sent an SOS, a call to all the galaxy, and then many beings civilization responded to the call to choose to take on a human form and to follow incarnation path so that we could liberate the planet all the way to the end of the Kali Yuga, which has now happened. And so there are souls coming from Arcturus, there are souls coming from Sirius, there are souls coming from Andromeda, there are souls coming from Antares, there are souls coming from the Pleiades, there are souls coming from all over the place that have chosen to participate as an emissary of light, to participate in this great awakening but in order to transform a planet, you cannot transform it from the outside, you have to transform it from the inside. That's why the Cassiopeian, the Greek gods, had discovered when the Titan took over, they had to take on a human form and use their human form to influence the collective of humanity to regain their sovereignty over the Titans. For that is exohistory, old history that will eventually come into understanding. Our own group comes from the North Star. For we are connected to the brotherhood. We're not so much a star civilization. We're more connected to a brotherhood. But we had many incarnations. We all had many incarnations in all those stations, in the Pleiades, in Sirius, in Arcturus, before we came as a preparation. So we have connection, and we have to continue to bring those energies. For our higher self is essentially angelic and galactic, and this is our monad, a soul family, and so we want to draw in all those energies from those higher planes, those higher incarnations. Everything is conditioned from our spiritual origin, our spiritual descendants, and a karmic condition. For it is the merit of our karmic condition that will allow spirit to operate through us. For everybody's got the spirit of God within themselves, but it is a matter of allowing ourselves to apply ourselves, to choose to do the will of God. The more we are able to do that, or the will of the highest good of all, that we become invested with a mission to become that, to allow that higher spirit to manifest through us. And there are thousands and thousands and thousands, even millions of people that are becoming a conduit for spirit, that are opening themselves to those memories. Understanding the climates are connected to the emotional body of humanity. Yet there are still negative technologies from extraterrestrial that are connected to the deep states, that are still being used to create catastrophes, to keep the frequency of humanity on a very low level. But it has been counteracted, and those will be disengaged, for their galactic family. Our galactic families are always infusing oxygen into the atmosphere. They're cleaning up all the pollution and bacteria and dangerous illness that they continue to spray in the skies. And so they cleans that up, understanding the earth is a living being. The earth is not a machine, it is a living being. And just as the sun is a living being, connect to your sun. Your sun does not just give you, doesn't give us just light and warmth. It's also give us light packages, and we receive those light packages. But in meditation, we have to open up the packages and see what it does into our DNA. And so I wanted to salute this young lady, this Greta Thunberg. She came into France recently, and she's just a voice of a new generation, a young generation of people that says we cannot continue with this madness. And so our courage needs to be saluted. Yet understanding that it is the power of the mind. The earth is not a machine that responds to report and statistic. It is a living intelligence. And if she creates those extreme weather, it is in response to the mistreatment that she's suffered for about 100 years since this overpopulation, those wars, this industrial pollution, the deforestation. And so it is the solution that's been presented as this catastrophic vision should be abandoned. We want to envision the solution that will be coming, the new technology, the 0-point technology that will soon be introduced, because we need to change. We need to create a shift in our transition in our technological models. But we cannot stop using cars, boats, planes. We cannot stop agriculture. We cannot stop creating goods and services and trading goods and services. We stop using electricity. We're not going to start using candles and just because we want to change the climates of the world. It's just complete nonsense. Understanding that there always been some shift in planetary evolution. There's been some ice age, and then it's going to warm, and then going back to ice age, and those changes will happen until humanity becomes aware, becomes mature, becomes fully conscious. Then the planet will stabilize, will be settled in light and life, and the climates will be moderate everywhere. Everything will be in balance. For we're trying to reaching the balance point. So create your own weather as much as possible. Protect yourself from the heat, from the warm. Wear a hat, because 80% of the energy that comes out in and out of us comes from the head, and so always wear a hat. In cold country and hot country, people wear hats. And so just to go into energy saving inside, speak less. I used to live in Miami. I was coming from New York before, and in New York, people walk fast, and in Miami, I've learned to walk slow, to move slowly, and it's kind of nice to slow down. Everything we need to slow down a little bit, take time to see what comes in once our mind become quiet. Solution reveal themselves. I'm just expressing idea here. What's the biggest pollution in the world is war. For everything is energy, equal MC square. If everything is energy, the idea of destruction and those weaponized those wars are not only on the carbon level, but on the emotional level. Those wars are really what's the most toxic form of pollution. Then of course there is industrial pollution, the non-respect of the environment, and then there is the massive deforestation and the way we build things. For we are building now we know how to build buildings that are producing more energies than they consume, and it's like ecological. They're green. They're emitting. There's a lot of. So there is all kinds of ways that technology has brought us to this point where we have the choice to create a healthier society that's more balanced. For when I started doing those videos, Spirit says that they should utilize my knowledge and my energy for city planning, planning the cities of the future, rather than reading tarot. But until I move into this may come someday. But for now, I'm just being here and communicating, sharing on those ideas. Always do what brings you joy. For if you move what brings you joy in any moment, what brings you the most joy? What's the most happy thing that you can do in each moment? Then you go you go as far as you can within that, and then you let go, and then you see what else brings me joy, and then you move on to that, to the next thing, the most exciting things. You don't want to think too much, and you do not want to do things out of a habit. For it is habits are really sometimes we want to let go of all the non-essential in order to move in to have more space for all that is essential, which is pure enjoyment. There is nothing good or bad. There is just what is essential and what is no longer needed. Hybris in Greek. So. I'm going to pull a few cards from the highest wisdom is the Amerandian. It's to live in oneness, in unity with nature, and connectedness with nature. What we need to understand is the farm, is how to live in once again in an harmonious relationship with the planet. The planet gives us everything that we need, but we need to be responsible. And to stop using chemicals and pollution, so that we can eat and drink food and that's conducive to our health. What we need to do is anger or alimentation or nurturing. It's about becoming the master of our desire, understanding our craving, understanding that those things that are needed and those things that are no longer needed. And so we have to become master of our senses, and the outcome is the self. So it is about this great empowerment, this connection to the world of the elementals, the world of divas, to connect to our Elohim, for the creator of form. The divas is overseeing all this production. And our physical body is made of elemental beings. So we want to communicate and to be one with nature, to understand we are included within nature, and to connect to the spirit of Mother Earth. For the earth is not, once again, it is not a mechanical thing. It is been viewed by you materialist scientists and materialist consciousness as something to be consumed, and that is not intelligence, where there is no intelligence within it is just a product, a thing. When it is not a thing, it is an intelligent being that is, and intelligence are everywhere. It's just a matter of, once we connect to those inner forces of nature through the respect and love and joy, nature will be able to flourish again and will become beautiful and will assist us in repairing all those things to balance out the climate. So all those things is part of the process, part of what is coming. And so and I want to speak briefly of love and romance. For families, is a divine process. We're reproducing ourselves through sexuality. It is part of when God has created, God, man and woman, have been created complementary in that process. But marriage is a purely cultural human institution. My guardian angel told me it is the love in the heart that connects. It's not about signing a piece of paper, otherwise people would stay married. But so there is vows. When you make a vow of marriage, say, well, we love each other today, let's hope we'll still love each other tomorrow, because people make vows that they're going to love each other forever. But it's a complete lie. They have no clue. They cannot know what will happen in 1 year, 10 years from now. And so it is much better to enjoy the love and light, to enjoy the love that you feel with somebody else without being bound by contract. For me personally, I may get married because God tells me that I'm going to meet someone that I will fell in love with. It's going to be a reciprocate relationship where we're going to be happy together for the rest of our life. And God only knows, for I do not know if I can fall in love with somebody and be bored in a year from now in the relationship, or this person may be bored with me in a year from now. But when it's God saying, God knows, God sees, and so that will be the only condition I would ever think of getting married. Otherwise, I don't need to sign a contract to fall in love with someone or be happy with somebody. For I almost got married twice in my life, and I'm really glad I didn't do it, because it would have not lasted. for we are conditioned by our culture, and my parents get divorced when I was 12 years old, so it was kind of a shock as a teenager. But I had models, my great grandparents who were married 65 years, and my grandparents who were married 68 years. So it's like they were models. But now we move in a society that is much faster, that's going so much faster, and then sometimes people get married and then they end up hating each other, getting addicted to the drama of codependency, and it's completely unacceptable to be violent with your mates. It has to be love and respect of your mate. If otherwise, separate. So do not continue in a relationship that is just because of legal obligation. It is better to separate than to live a misery and inflict misery on somebody else. But there are thousands of people in the world where we are fully compatible, yet we have made soul contract with other beings, and it is where we'll find the greatest fulfillment. And so it is good to be in touch with that, whatever feels right. Well, I'm just sharing thoughts and ideas, how I feel about them, but after that, everybody's got to define this. We're all different. We're all created different with different programmation, and so. But this idea of having one soulmate, only one soulmate, and this is only it. And then if it didn't work with that person, then we'll never find love again. This is complete nonsense. There are thousands and thousands of people that can fulfill that function. Yet, if we have soul contract, it's good to stick to that as much as possible, so that we may get ready for this, and also to love the imperfection of that person. Nobody's perfect, but when we're in love, sometimes we do not see the imperfection of that person. It's when the bubble bursts that we can see, well, I did not like that, or I didn't like that. So it's good to accept the person with all its quirks, to accept that as part of the challenge, and to even use that as an increase in joy, so that we can have fun. Mostly is to enjoy ourselves, and also when we think about long-term relationship, passion, physical attraction is fine, it's necessary, but friendship is very important. Thing that you can have fun together, you enjoy each other's company. It's not just it's very, very important to have that bond of friendship if you want to have a long-lasting relationship. Those may be common sense, but I thought I would talk about this today. I'm going to sing a song and draw one more card from the Archangels. Behind me is part of a series of three paintings on board from 2006. It's kind of a mysterious painting here. And here is about the two galaxies. It's the Milky Way galaxy and the Andromeda galaxy. And there is the DNA, and it's the point of connection between the Milky Way, when it's the family of light, and the Andromeda, the family of love, and when the point is touching. And there is the DNA that's opening it. The DNA is like a spiral that opens up to more strand, and there is this code here, 00101110. It's a universal code that opens the portal of infinity. Work with this code as much as possible. For it is very hot today. Might go to the swimming pool. I have a few appointments, but I'm gonna go to the swimming pool probably. And getting ready for what is coming. For Spirit is showing me that it's like this is symbolically what is coming to me is going to be they show me that I'm going to be like placed in a catapult, and I'm going to be catapulted. So it was like a bit scary. Like I know that I'm going to land into something so different and so incredible, but to be catapulted is like whoa. It's like it was a strange vision that I received. It was, but I accept my fate, and it's like I'm ready. I do want to get to move on to the next level. I'm sing a song. It's a song about connecting to the angels, and it's a song of Jimi Hendrix. It goes like this: Angel come down from heaven yesterday. She stayed with me just long enough to rescue me, and she tell me a story yesterday about the love between the moon and a deep blue sea. And when it was time for her to go, she spread a wing high over me, and she say, I shall return tomorrow. And I say, fly on, my sweet angel, fly on through the sky. Fly on, my sweet angel, tomorrow I will feel you by my side. And sure enough, this morning comes to me, while silver wings silhouette against the glow of a child's sunrise. And as the bluebirds and sparrows envy me, she say, I love you, little boy, and today you shall fly. She kissed me once, and the feeling so good she made me cry. And now we'll fly together. And I say, fly on, my sweet angel. Fly on through the sky. Fly on, my sweet angel. Together we shall always be alive. Beautiful song. We send greetings to Jimmy. Is always spirit. Spirit, when the people pass away, their spirit remains. They're always there, always available to be called, and they always enjoy to be called from us down here. And so it is the understanding, once we connect to our angelic parts, we recognize this eternal life. It is just we've forgotten for a little while. When I pull the last card of the life of the day is to change your life. The Archangel Samuel. Sudden revelation that allows to a glimpse into freedom. Do not postpone until tomorrow what you need to do today. Grasp every opportunity that offers every change. So it is about letting go of the past and seeing the future, seeing the possibility to open to something new in the future. Well, thank you very much for liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting. If you have any thought, for we all have different ideas, we all have different perception. It is our diversity that makes us rich. It is the diversity of all those points of view that enrich life as a whole. So everybody is just as important, and every point of view is just as important as anybody else. And you also, it is like there are so many facet to creation. We'll never explore it all, and we'll never get it done. So let us enjoy every moment and enjoy as much as possible each moment of now to get ready for the next. I thank you very much. Namaste.